guy that I would just like just the hair. Yeah. I just want to be able to see it flow when I kind of slam his arm down.
Here's Drake Toll.
Welcome back into the Petty Clinic Low T Bears Den. Happy Thursday. Thursday, everybody. And a big week in Baylor athletics, Baylor sports. A couple of new faces in town. It's a new women's basketball coach in Nikki Collin, a kind of new men's tennis coach with Michael Woodson being promoted to head coach, and a new volleyball player. That's Avery Skinner joining the program. And I know that last name's familiar, and for good reason. Avery, thanks for joining the show today.
Of course. Thanks so much for having me.
A pleasure having you. And like we kind of just talked about off the air, I would love to say welcome to Waco and congratulations, but I'm sure you've been to Waco a time or two in the past.
Yeah, just a couple.
So, Avery, walk us through. Obviously, your dad was a Baylor legend and a great basketball player in the green and gold. Take us through kind of your Baylor story, kind of your path growing up. I'm sure you grew up a Bear fan.
I definitely did. Yeah. So both my parents went to Baylor. My dad played basketball there. My mom was a student. And so that definitely has been a part of my upbringing. I grew up going to homecomings and games, and that was just a really fun part and highlight, coming to Waco occasionally. And so I've grown up definitely a fan, and been a little bit immersed in the culture and the tradition of Baylor, but I'm excited to be attending Baylor and be fully in it. So
Avery, some of those earliest Baylor memories. Take me back through some of those that you still cherish when you think about the university as a whole.
Yeah, I would definitely just say homecoming and going down and staying with my mom's college roommate and getting up and going to the parade and just kind of collecting candy and being able to watch my mom sing all the songs and everything and stuff that I'm sure I will learn. But I think that was just something really fun we looked forward to going to every year, and even the bonfire is something that my sister and I definitely look forward to.
Avery, I'd be remiss, your dad was on our afternoon show not too long ago, actually, maybe about a week ago, talking about his career and then you playing in the national championship as well. And when I think Brian Skinner, I think four-time, 4-year letterman at Baylor, 3-time All Big 12, and then a 14-year NBA career. What do you think when you hear Brian Skinner?
Well, I think dad, definitely that's what everyone else thinks, and I definitely benefit from that and everything that he's been through, but I definitely just think dad, and he's really given me so much wisdom from the experience that he's had from sports and life. And I'm just super grateful to have him as a resource because not everyone does have that.
Avery, along with that, I mean, having a dad that was playing professional basketball, being the NBA, what was that like for you? I'm sure you have a unique perspective on that I would love to get.
Yeah. So obviously that just came with a lot of traveling. So he was gone a lot, and it was a lot of going to school on the weekdays and leaving Friday and going to visit and then coming back home. And we were able to kind of homeschool for a little bit so we could see him more. And so that was just, a definitely busy season of life. But as we got older, we kind of stayed stationary and we were able to kind of watch his career and see him. And that was really awesome to see. It definitely is different lifestyle, but is also a fun one and rewarding as well.
Well, Avery, I know you'll get pestered with the questions about your dad and his career at Baylor so much, but now you're the star in town, coming back and being at Baylor after a career at Kentucky. I want to know your recruiting process. When you decided to transfer, use that graduate transfer year, what did that look like for you? What all went into that decision?
Yeah, so it kind of just came down to academics, honestly. There was nothing wrong at Kentucky. I absolutely love the volleyball program, coaching staff, everyone there, and it will definitely always hold a special place in my heart. But it really came down for the best fit for me academically, and especially when pairing that with volleyball. And for me, that was Baylor, and volleyball came a little bit later. I had been accepted to the graduate program before, and was kind of leaning towards that, whether I played or not. But after it worked out, obviously I was super happy. And of course my ties here helped a little bit, but both programs are just so successful. And so I'm really excited to be able to do both.
Avery, your success at Kentucky, first team AVCA All-American, and then a national championship, those accolades are huge. Take me through those. What it was like, not just to be an All-American, but then to win it all at the biggest stage in collegiate volleyball.
Yeah, it's crazy. And it's something that I watched growing up and always wondered what it felt like to be in that moment. And so to have that feeling and be able to win is just indescribable. And it's so much work that we put in before to be able to shine in that moment. But I think it was just a long time coming. Our season was so long. And so just trying to maintain physically, maintain skills, mentally, everything throughout that time. And the coaching staff at UK did a great job of giving us breaks when we needed it so that we were fresh when it came to the tournament. And obviously it was a little different being in a bubble, but to be able to come out on top at the end was really great.
Avery, I don't know if you remember it, but I remember it. The Kentucky Wildcat volleyball team in Waco, Texas for the NCAA tournament. Do you have any memories from that in your junior season?
Yeah. To be honest, we didn't have the best luck on that court. So I'm hoping that I have better luck on that court this time. But yeah, I mean, it definitely was not the outcome that we wanted. Looking back, I kind of, whenever I decided to come back here, I was like, man, I was there, but I obviously didn't know this was going to happen. So I'm looking forward to getting back into that gym and being in a Baylor jersey.
I love it. And alongside you, also in Baylor jerseys, you got Yassiana Presley, Hannah Sedgwick, and then Lauren Harrison. 3 names, huge names in collegiate volleyball in general, and obviously at Baylor. What is it like to go from a national championship caliber program right back into a national championship caliber program?
Yeah, I mean, I hope to not skip a beat. And I know that both the program that I'm coming from and the program that I'm going to both have been so successful and have big names for themselves in the volleyball world. And I know that their coaching staff is amazing. And so I'm just really excited to kind of get to know everyone, get in the gym, be able to work with the girls and see how they run their systems.
You know, Avery, for the longest time, and especially when you were growing up, Baylor volleyball really wasn't on the map. There wasn't a lot to see on the national scale when it came to BU volleyball. And then comes Ryan McGuire. Walks in from California and brings that swagger to Baylor volleyball and takes the team all the way to the national semifinal now just a year ago. Ryan McGuire, what does that name throughout this recruiting process and in volleyball in general mean to you?
For sure. Definitely a successful coach. And I didn't really get to know him that well before during the recruiting process because he kind of came on as I was committing. But with the conversations that I've been able to have with him recently, he's a really great guy, very genuine, wants the best for everyone, and has held such a high standard. And so I'm really excited to get to know him better, be able to play under him. And I'm just really looking forward to that.
Avery, I want to know, and I kind of skipped over this, going back a little bit. You ended up going to Lexington. Being from Texas, though, what was that transition like going from Texas? I don't want to say halfway across the country, but it's a pretty good trek to get to Lexington, Kentucky.
It is. Yeah. So my mindset kind of in the recruiting process was to let volleyball take me where it could. And so I wasn't set on staying home. And so when the opportunity at Kentucky arose, I was ready to go for it. And so decided to go play at Kentucky, and it definitely is far. 17 hours is not just a quick weekend trip. So the only time I've really been able to come back is when we play A&M or other Texas schools, but I'm glad that I did it. I'm glad that I went out. I was able to be exposed to so many new things, experience things other than what Texas has to offer, but I'm also excited to come back.
HEB, a Whataburger on every corner, having the blue bonnets. What is it like now being back in Texas and knowing that you will be in Texas for at least the next year?
I'm pumped. Yeah. HEB, it's something that no one knows about, but if they were to go, they would know why it's so special. I mean, I'm really looking forward to that. Torchy's tacos, you name it, all the things Texas has to offer. I'm really excited.
And Avery, have you had the chance to come back to Baylor's campus since you've made this decision? And if not, what do you expect of that when you do?
Yeah, so I actually haven't. We were obviously playing and then we came back and I'm finishing up finals week. So haven't had the chance to go back. Hopefully in the next week or so, I'll be able to be there for a couple of days and meet everyone in person and everything. But I'm really excited. We start in the summer. So I'll be on campus quick, starting school, starting workouts and everything. So I hope to get acclimated pretty fast.
Your schedule and your timeline too. When do you expect to be in Waco, meet with the team, Coach McGuire and company in person, and be able to start working out with the squad?
Yeah, so I think that'll all officially start May 31st. So we'll start workouts June 1st. I start school June 1st. So everything will really get rolling on that day.
Bring it on. Avery, along with that, Baylor volleyball is not just a culture program, but Baylor in itself is a culture school. The faith basis and really valuing family, and things go deeper, so much deeper than sports at Baylor. Is that something that you value? Was that a tie for you to come back to Baylor?
For sure. I know that Baylor is a Christian school, and so that's something that I was brought up in. And so I'm really excited. Kentucky is not. So it will be different. And I definitely am going to miss the people that I've had at UK, but I'm really excited to kind of find a new community and new people and be a part of that culture.
And Avery, have you had any conversations with current Baylor volleyball players since you've made this decision?
Yeah, so Presley Anderson, we knew each other ahead of time. And so we've been kind of texting back and forth in the little bit similar situation of grad transfer. And so she's helped a lot giving me information. It's just difficult coming in, not knowing really anything. And so she was in that spot just a year ago. So she's been super helpful, and I'm excited to get on campus so we can all be together.
Avery, I know it's super fresh and that this is a decision. I mean, you're spending the next year of your career of volleyball at Baylor University and walking into, like we talked about, a championship caliber program. Have you already thought about what it's going to be like next season to dress up in the green and gold and compete for Baylor?
I have. I don't think it's completely set in yet, but I'm just really excited, I think, just to be able to get on the court and play volleyball. And that's something that I love, and I know that those girls do too. And so that'll be something that bonds us. And I think at the end of the day, we're all just trying to work as hard as we can to be the best that we can. And so I'm really excited to kind of get to Baylor, have that common goal, and be able to play with everyone.
And Avery, what are those goals that you've set? I mean, is it national championship caliber for you to come to Baylor? I mean, is that the goal, to win a national championship again, but do it at Baylor with Coach Ryan McGuire and company?
Absolutely. I mean, I don't know if no one has ever won 2 national championships in the same year in volleyball. So I would be so excited to do that. I just want to give whatever I can to this team. And I want to be All-American. I want to set those goals. But I just want to be able to do the job that they need me to do. And so whatever that is, I hope that leads to a national championship.
Avery, that was gonna be my last question. Would have been a great one to end on, but I can't help but think you've got the national championship experience that you're able to bring to Baylor. There are a lot of players who transfer in. They're quiet pieces that just get the job done because they know they can only be there 1 year. How do you plan to pour into this team, be a leader, and share your experience with a squad that hasn't yet won a title?
Yeah, I think I'm just going to focus on being myself. And I definitely want to share the information that I have, the experiences that I've been through, but at the same time, we're all on one team. And so I think just focusing on ways that I can pour into my teammates and just work hard together so that we can get to that point.
Avery, thank you so much for joining the show today. It was a pleasure to have you on to talk about this transition for you moving into Baylor volleyball, and congratulations on this decision. I know everybody here is very excited to have you.
Thank you so much.
Absolute pleasure. Again, that was Avery Skinner, not just a daughter of Brian Skinner. See, that can't be the thing. She can't be Brian Skinner's daughter. She is her own idol and her own respect in her sport. At volleyball, she's a Division I AVCA, first team All-American, national champion at Kentucky. I mean, Brian Skinner is her dad. How does that work where she's not Brian Skinner's daughter? Brian Skinner's her dad. He is the dad of Avery Skinner. That was Avery Skinner of the Baylor volleyball team. Be on campus within a month to work out with the team and then prepare for next season.